Let's go. Yeah, okay,
Awesome.
welcome back, guys. Welcome back to our channel. We have our guest again here. It's Mary from Nigeria, yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I am from Nigeria. I live in Nigeria. I'm actually also half Filipino.
Oh, it's exactly. Oh, Filipino. It's quite close to here, the Philippines.
Yeah, it is.
Have you
It
been
is.
Philippines before?
I've not, unfortunately, but we are planning as a family to go there soon.
Exactly. Yeah. Before I get start with the video, yeah, like usual, can you share your story in Bitcoin? I mean, your journey, dive into rabbit hole, and your background as well.
Sure. So I had my first encounter with Bitcoin sometime in 2015. I was a freelancer at that time. And one of my clients, they wanted me to write an article, and they said that they wanted to pay me in Bitcoin. Back then, I was like, I don't know what Bitcoin is. So luckily for me, my sister at the time, she was doing research on Bitcoin. So she understood Bitcoin a lot better than myself. So she helped me set up my first Bitcoin wallet. And the client paid me for the articles via, like paid it into my Bitcoin wallet, which was cool, but I didn't take time to process and see the advantages of Bitcoin. So fast forward 2020, I mean, during that time from 2015 to like around 2020, I've been looking into the technology behind Bitcoin, so blockchain technology and all that. But I wasn't brave enough to take that step to like put money down and actually invest in Bitcoin. But sometime around 2020, I was like, you know what? I think, you know, it's time for me to just give it a shot. So let me just try it and see how it is. Because during that time, most especially from 2017 to 2020, I've been really into personal finance. So I was investing in stocks, I was, doing mutual funds, I was doing investing in real estate and all those kind of things. And so at that point, I felt a lot more comfortable giving Bitcoin a try. So the first application I used was an app called Luno. And personally, like, I'm not, no shade to Luno, right? They're doing a great job, but but I personally felt like this app is a little too complicated for me. So I bought some Bitcoin, I bought some Ethereum at that time, and just waited. But I really wanted to learn more about Bitcoin and really just get into it, like get into the practice, sending money, receiving, doing all those things with Bitcoin. And during that time when I was contemplating, that was sometime around 2020, 2021, I was scrolling on Twitter at around 12 or 1 a.m. in the morning, and I came across this beautiful video of an app called Bitnob. That's Bitnob. Yes. I was like, oh my gosh, this app looks so good though. So I quickly went to the Play Store, downloaded it, signed up, and I was like, wow, this is fast. Signed up, created, did everything, took steps to fund my wallet, and then boom, I just bought Bitcoin. I was like, wow, it's so easy. And I loved Btnob so much that I felt so moved to do a review of Btnob on my podcast called TheFintechX, which is a podcast about the fintech experience and the people's experience with fintech. So then in my podcast, I was reviewing fintech apps, talking about personal finance and sharing all those tips. And so because I really loved Bitnob so much, I just had to record. And usually when I review apps, I take my time, wait for a couple of days, see if my money will disappear and all that. Exactly. But with Bitnob, I just, the minute I tried it, I just loved it so much and had so much faith in the product that I just started recording about 1 or 2 days after I discovered it. And when the podcast episode went live, people in Bitnob really loved it. They were like really excited about it. I got to meet some people from Bitnob. Then reached out, like had a talk with the CEO, Bernard Para, and then we had a podcast interview together. So I interviewed him on my podcast, and after the podcast, we just got talking. And before you know it, like fast forward to like October 2021, I was brought on board to handle their podcast called the Knobcast, which is a podcast dedicated to Bitcoin. And yeah, now I work for Bitnob and like literally on the path to making Bitcoin my life. So yeah, that's basically my story.
Yeah, so it's yeah, I will share the link in the description after this, and yeah, you see that what is it called again? Bitnob.
Yeah, Bitnob,
Is
Bitnob.
it based in Africa? Africa based? Because I know some like exchanges have based in Africa, you know, such as BitMEX. You know BitMEX. Their headquarters is in Seychelles. You know Seychelles.
Yeah.
Seychelles in Africa, close to Madagascar. Yeah, but yeah, what's about it? Yeah, could you share maybe more?
Oh, sure. So Bitnob, they're a company registered in the US, but currently like servicing Nigeria and Ghana, but they're expanding to other countries as well. So watch out, world, we're coming for you. So they're expanding, and which is really exciting. So currently like they're servicing Nigeria and Ghana.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe yeah, that's part of Bitnob. Yeah, like other exchanges lah, from Indonesia as well have other exchanges like the try to expand to other country. That's the challenge. I mean, you have to be the status quo, such as the FTX, Binance, etc., and so forth. And what I think is that yeah, as long as you understand the risk, you can go for it. But the idea of Bitcoin is still self custody. You know, I mean, take Bitcoin out of the exchange, and yeah, yeah, that's the revolutionary thing, right? And it's never happened before Bitcoin invented. So yeah, I think you're right. If someone completely new to the industry, Bitcoin is the way. But if you like a little bit step further about Bitcoin, I think it's better for you to get the self custody, right?
Yeah. So one thing about Bitnob though, and that I feel I should like mention,
Okay, yeah.
It's very like focused on Bitcoin alone, unlike like other companies that deal with cryptocurrencies. Bitnob isn't an exchange. And I think that's what I like them for the most. They're like laser focused on Bitcoin.
Yes.
But yeah, you know, if you want to protect your Bitcoin, right, it's always best to like have it in a hardware wallet. Like that is literally the goal. But yeah, that's one amazing thing about Bitnob is that it's just laser focused on Bitcoin.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, there's also like Swan Bitcoin. Have you ever heard of that? Swan?
Oh yeah, I've heard
Also
of Swan.
focus on Bitcoin only and Strike. Yeah, there's so many apps that's building on top of Bitcoin, you know. And Jack Dorsey app, it's also a Square, right? Using Cash App, and yeah, they try to push for Bitcoin. So yeah, I think that's really good to see when people like to try to push Bitcoin into a better direction, and it's only a matter of time before kicking off. Yeah, that's something that I would like to say.
Yeah, I mean, and it's so exciting. It's just a sign of how much these people believe in Bitcoin and what Bitcoin is there to offer. Because to be honest, if you study Bitcoin and compare with other cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin is like the true decentralized coin out there, right? We don't know the owner. We don't have to wait for the owner to make any announcement to us. Like it literally runs on autopilot, which makes it very, very unique. Other cryptocurrencies, it'll be literally very difficult for them to mimic what Bitcoin was able to offer. You know, that's complete decentralization. I mean, definitely no shade to other cryptocurrencies, they're
Yeah,
doing a
that's the
great job
truth.
in their own right. But like,
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Sometimes people cannot handle the truth, but it's okay. You can say, yeah, that's the truth, right? Yeah.
hmm so yeah, and it's just, the more I go into it and the more I speak to people about Bitcoin and hear their Bitcoin story, like the more it gives me that conviction that Bitcoin has immense potential that we are yet to explore. I'm not just talking about the technology. I'm also looking at it from the perspective of community as well, because if you look at how Bitcoin has evolved and the people around Bitcoin, everyone is working towards supporting and raising the other person up, right? For
Yes.
example, what I know about Bitcoin, it wasn't like, if I were to divide it into percentages, like I would say that 80% of what I know about Bitcoin, I got that knowledge through people, right? Through the ecosystem, through participating in like Twitter spaces, joining like people, joining Bitcoin discussions, meeting people who are into Bitcoin and hearing their stories and getting different perspectives about Bitcoin from different countries and all that. So like I love looking at Bitcoin from a holistic point of view, aside from just the money, the store of value, but the ecosystem as a whole, like community, apps that work on it, companies that are part of this, projects that are running on Bitcoin. And the more you see it, the more exciting it is, just to like watch how this coin that we don't even know who the owner is, like we didn't need anybody's direction in order for us to expand and to support each other in this great ecosystem. So super exciting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the truth. There is no shame. I mean, like when you try to, yeah, ditch another cryptocurrency because it's not really currency and not decentralized in many ways, and because it's not politically centralized. So, yeah, I think that's why I created the podcast as well. To educate people. Yeah, you can make money. It doesn't mean that you cannot make money, right? You can also make money for the shitcoin, but on the long run, yeah, there's only one direction to the shitcoin. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's a part of the game, and then yeah, the buzz with cryptos, Web3, or etc. and so forth is only the way to get your Bitcoin.
Mhm.
Because the market cap is Bitcoin is higher and it's harder to get, right? The higher the
Mhm.
market cap is harder to get. So yeah, that's why I agree with you with all of this. I mean, yeah, since you like mentioned like you only focus on Bitcoin, have you ever experienced yeah, altcoins, or what was your Bitcoin aha moment? Oh, I only focus on Bitcoin, not other cryptos.
So I think it was because, okay, I used to actively invest in other cryptocurrencies. Like I
Yes,
have some Ethereum, I invest in Cardano and Matic, and
yes,
like projects like Cardano and Matic, like interesting projects, things that I'd love to see it come to fruition and love their energy around it. But my Bitcoin aha moment was when I sat down and I actually reflected and was like, one day these founders will die, or there's a scandal relating to this founder. What then happens to the community? What then happens to the project, right? Because we're human beings, right? We can get affected by these little things that come up, right? So if, for example, God forbid, right, something happens to Vitalik, right? He's like, I'm Ethereum, I'm not doing this
yeah,
anymore.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
tired,
yeah.
I'm bored. I want to do something else. Like you can imagine what will happen to Ethereum. It will just crash, right? But when it comes to Bitcoin, I can't be like, I give up, I'm not doing Bitcoin anymore. It's not going to affect the price of Bitcoin because who am I in the great grander scheme of things?
Yes,
Um, so when I sat down and thought about it, I was like, nah, I think it's best for me to just go head on to, head full focus on Bitcoin and see how I could just build my life around it. it's a gradual process. Like I'm literally trying to transition more and more into Bitcoin. Like I mentioned, I was into stocks and all those other kind of investment models, but now I'm like slowly like increasing the percentage of my investments in Bitcoin. I'm now making use of different applications to, pay for my data subscription, using Bitcoin. Gradually, I came across some Bitcoin games, which is super cool, like literally building my life around Bitcoin now. I still love the other projects, like what Cardano is doing, what Matic is doing, or what Polygon is doing. Like I like what they're doing, but if I were to choose between this and between those coins and Bitcoin, I'll definitely put my whole weight behind Bitcoin, because I know that no matter what, it is going up. Like I don't have to worry about someone giving up on Bitcoin and it affecting the generality of my investments in Bitcoin. So yeah, that's my big Bitcoin aha moment.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I mean, like, even Satoshi itself, when, yeah, out of nowhere, they come up, Satoshi also reveal himself. It cannot affect a price of Bitcoin, whatsoever, because Satoshi have, even though they or she or he have 5% Bitcoin supply, but still, if you dump all the supply, people will buy up and not going to zero, because it is mathematically possible. And not unlike the other cryptos who been pre-mined by 70%. It's really unfair, right? I mean, like, even the stock market have, a fair distribution other than the holders, the shareholders. But the cryptocurrency or the cryptos, 70%. That's why the SEC try to catch the other cryptos like securities, because yeah, if they dump all the supply, and the retail are gonna get hurt the most. So that's why I really, yeah, pissed off with, yeah, this situation. But people will learn. I think, yeah, as time goes by, people will learn. They got a lesson by, yeah, as simple as creating this YouTube channel. I will, like, educate people about Bitcoin always.
Awesome. And
Yeah,
that's really
exactly.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
We
Since
need,
you mentioned, sorry.
no, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, since you mentioned, like, you also share about, what's your podcast again? FintechX or podcast? Is that your podcast? Yeah, it's educating people about
Yeah,
Bitcoin or
that's
fintech. Yeah, you also, like, try to, I mean,
Fintech podcast.
you created the TikTok content, or, yeah, because TikTok is really engaging, right? In yeah, with cryptos. But what are your thoughts on that? I mean, can you share a bit more about your what are you doing?
Yeah, sure. So the FintechX podcast, I created it with the main purpose of telling people about fintech. So my journey finance phase, where I started working on my personal finance habits, how I save, how I invest, and that led me to applications like that we could download and use to help us with our personal finance. And that's how the FintechX podcast came to be born. It was a place where I could share my thoughts around fintech applications and how fintech applications could help people, especially young people, because people who are young are the ones who really need this knowledge around, how to best save and invest their money. And so that was how FintechX was born. So what I did, or what I usually do with the FintechX, is I review fintech applications, focusing on in Nigeria. So I'm mainly look at apps that Nigerians can use to improve their finance. So I reviewed them. yeah, so because I started focusing, so when the Knobcast was born, which is the podcast run by Bitnob, I decided to just focus my attention on the Knobcast, to make sure that, so that the Knobcast is basically focused on Bitcoin related content. So interviewing people who are thought leaders in the Bitcoin space, people who are doing amazing things with Bitcoin, and where we listen to their Bitcoin journey as a way to educate people on Bitcoin and see different perspectives of Bitcoin and how they can, kind of like model their life or get encouragement or motivation around, using Bitcoin. And so when I started focusing on the Knobcast, I had to put the FintechX on hold. But currently my team and I, so my team being the Relish Abundance team, shout out to them. We
Yes.
are currently planning out fresh content for the FintechX to kind of revive that and have a brand new perspective to personal finance for Nigerians or Nigerian youths. So that's in the works currently. But yeah, and then as for like TikTok content, so personally, I make a couple of TikTok contents, but so far, like
Yes.
most of my TikTok content has been focused on Bitcoin. So I just, for now, it's just literally me just making certain statements or like showing the fun side of being a Bitcoiner, especially during this recent dip, because a lot of people are like really worried about the dip and what they're gonna do. So it's just me making some videos around that. But yeah, that's how far I have gone. But definitely, with like as the year progresses, like there will be more content on the FintechX. But for the Knobcast, like we are pushing out podcast episodes every week, which is really exciting. I get to interview amazing people in the Bitcoin space, and like hear their different perspectives and stories. We've had people talk about their amazing journeys, the companies that they built around Bitcoin, the initiatives that they are unleashing through Bitcoin. Like it's been really, really inspiring and educational, not just for me as a person who's interviewing them, but like for a lot of people. I know that some people who reached out to me said that they found the Knobcast very educative, and that's how they feel like it was, to them it was the podcast that helped get them started with Bitcoin, because the stories of these people really moved them to, one, get curious about Bitcoin, and two, start thinking about how they can involve more Bitcoin in their lives. So yeah, that's what I've been doing so far.
Yeah, I agree with you because the education need to I mean education need to meet the what is called entertainment. I mean if
Yeah.
it doesn't meet that, it's you cannot educate people. Because it tend to like yeah, tell people what to do, right? And yeah, if that happen, it's doesn't make any sense for people who try to engage uh, with the what is called with cryptos. That's why it's part
um
of culture as well. I mean, like GM or DGen or yeah, it's part of culture, right? In TikTok dance, yeah, and culture in crypto is a part of the game, I think, yeah, because it's all over the place and people engage with that. So yeah, I agree with you. The way to educate people is need to be advanced, including myself have the thumbnail, thumbnail that crypto thumbnail. I've that face, So yeah, that's why I a little bit, what is called shy to do that because I'm not getting used to it. But that's the culture, right? We go for the culture as well. So yeah, I agree with
well,
you.
it really depends. So I feel that whoever is going into Bitcoin or any kind of cryptocurrency, I think you should just take it from the angle that relates to you the most, right?
Yes.
So personally, I love talking. So I love having interactions with people. So podcasting, interviewing people was easy for me. I feel like that was like that to me is like the easiest way to bring Bitcoin education. But then for some people who love dancing, like me, I can't dance at all. I'm a terrible dancer. So you'll never see me talk about Bitcoin dancing. It's going to be hilarious. Either I'm going to have an injury and fall down flat on my face, but like, so whoever is watching this right now, I mean, the truth is, if you relate with Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency through music or dance or, even chats like this, then just go with that, because not many people are interested in the dance part, right? Some people love the skits. They love like comedy around Bitcoin or comedy around crypto. I've seen some of those on TikTok. Some people just enjoy making just, doing like 60-second facts about Bitcoin or crypto. So what I believe is the best way is to pass information across using your strengths, instead of just following the trend all the time. Because even though, like, yeah, trends may help you get viral faster or whatever, but what's important is to have a community around the topic that you're passionate about. Yes. So if going according to the trends 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days is tiring, it's not sustainable. But what's sustainable is doing that thing that you believe in, doing that thing that feels easy and comfortable for you. Now that is sustainable, and that is what would build a community around yourself, right? So it really depends on the person telling the story or sharing the content or sharing the information. I mean, trends shouldn't be what motivates you to do the dances. There are still a lot of people who are succeeding on platforms like TikTok or Instagram Reels not dancing. So I mean,
people, I mean, like they try to believe in the TikTok dance rather than the financial advisor, That's how bad it is. And like I said, it's part of culture, I mean, doesn't mean that they are wrong. They maybe like try to engage with different way. But if we could talk about sustainability, I think you're right. It's not going anywhere. I mean, if you like to try to catch the viral all the time, that's part of the game. And I agree with you. It's like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not catching the trend, right? And when Bitcoin having a cycle, always the new trend come up. I mean, the last cycle is like ICO bubble. Right now, it's DeFi and Web3 bubble. We don't know. I mean, the next cycle, Bitcoin have whatever bubble. I don't know. It's just the way people don't learn from the past. Bitcoin only think this only way to go, but people still don't get the lesson.
Yeah, but eventually, everyone will find their level, right? So when Web3 was like, it's still raining. Like a lot of people are talking about Web3.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's still.
But gradually, it's kind of, the news is kind of dwindling. NFT. There was a time when NFTs were like the biggest thing. That was like 2021. But now it's like, so eventually, right, everyone finds their level and what they're interested in. But it's just going after what you love and you feel comfortable talking about all the time. So like for me, it was always, invest in stocks, invest in shares. But now, like, my content is changing, it's evolving because I'm evolving. And you need to just work on what feels comfortable to you and what you feel is important for you, so that it's sustainable over a long period of time.
Exactly. Yeah, just like what I did. I mean, I'm doing this podcast every day. I mean, every week, twice a week, I will push my podcast. So that's why I enjoy what I'm doing, and that's why we are here, right?
Awesome.
Switching gears a bit. I wanna ask about the situation in Nigeria. If I'm not mistaken, there's I don't know, Congress in there have ban the cryptocurrency? I mean, they try to like make it legal tender or not? I mean, when the government decide, oh, is too much, this is going to be stopped.
So sometime last year, February, early part of the year, we had what we called the crypto ban. But technically, it wasn't people call it a ban, like crypto ban. But technically, what happened was that the central bank, they ordered the banks not to facilitate crypto related payments. So when you want to buy cryptocurrency back then, you could just transfer your money to these exchanges, buy your crypto without any problem. But with the ban, what happened is that these banks could no longer help in help you buy these crypto anymore. Like you can't use your bank account to buy cryptocurrencies. And that was just CBN's way of controlling people or preventing them from engaging in cryptocurrency. And their perspective is, we don't know what cryptocurrency is. We can't control it. People are using it for bad reasons. So instead, let us just completely prevent all banks from facilitating such transactions. But the truth is, you cannot completely ban cryptocurrency because it's on a decentralized plane, right? You have the decentralized financial system, and then you have the decentralized financial system. Because it's not connected in any way to the centralized system, it's very difficult for the government to come in and say nobody should engage in cryptocurrencies anymore. So because of that, and that's what I love Nigerians for. One thing about Nigerians is that we'll always find a way around things. And so a lot of them switched gears and went into what we call peer-to-peer transactions. So when you want to buy or buy any form of cryptocurrency, whether it's Bitcoin or the others, you have to go through a third party. So whether there's a ban or not, crypto still continues, right? So that hasn't stopped people from buying crypto. I mean, I buy Bitcoin every day.
Yes, exactly.
Nobody's done anything, right? Yeah. So it's not stopping anyone. But like, yeah, that was a serious problem. But now, a year later, here we are. Bitcoin's cryptocurrency companies are still in existence. They're still running. Nigerians are still buying cryptocurrencies. So, I mean, nothing has stopped. The central bank, what they also introduced was the CBDC, which is the central bank digital currency. Yes. So it is, they called it the e-Naira, and it had some hitches. It's just a way of saying, okay, since you guys like crypto so much, here's a cryptocurrency that we approve of. But based on my experience and what I'm feeling in the market right now, I don't think people are using it anymore. The government isn't advertising it. There isn't any hype anymore. Ever since they launched it till date, nobody's advertising it. Banks support the CBDC, but I've not heard of anyone saying, hey, send me CBDC, or you can use my CBDC wallet. Nobody's saying that anymore, right? Nobody's talking about e-Naira anymore. It just swept under the carpet. So despite the ban, people are still full on into cryptocurrency. So yeah, we're still good.
Exactly, they cannot ban Bitcoin, they can only make it difficult. I mean, people try to, government gotta stop Bitcoin, government gotta ban Bitcoin. They cannot only ban themselves from Bitcoin. It's two different things, right? So
yeah,
I think Bitcoin cannot be banned. It's only for nature. For example, like the events that happen in Ukraine, when the people cannot access their money, completely shut off the internet, but they still manage to send Bitcoin through air gap or something, right? And yeah, people are still far away to figure out. Yeah, Bitcoin is cannot. Bitcoin cannot be banned.
Exactly. And it just shows how powerful Bitcoin is, right?
Yes.
So no matter the situation, no matter any policy that the government wants to put out to stop Bitcoin, I mean, it won't work, right? It won't work at all. And it just further solidifies the fact that um, Bitcoin is like the most reliable currency out there, because it just shows that the government can at any time put their hand in your normal fiat, but it's literally impossible for them to put hand in your Bitcoin. So I think these turn of events, whether it's what's happening in Nigeria or what happened in Nigeria with the crypto ban, and what's happening in Ukraine, what's happening in Canada with the truckers, like it just shows that the government is not 100% behind you, right? They could come in at any time, take your money, your hard-earned money from you at any time, so long as your money continues to be in their centralized system. So the best thing you could do for yourself is to take this money from the centralized system and put it into the decentralized system, and most preferably Bitcoin, because there your money is truly safe, so long as you carry out the other safety measures, like don't share your Bitcoin, your keys, don't keep your Bitcoin in a hardware wallet if possible. Like so long as you follow those necessary precautions, like Bitcoin is like the safest place you can keep your money. And more things are going to happen, right? We're seeing a lot of things happening right now. More things are going to happen in different countries. There are going to be governments that are going to resist Bitcoin over and over and over. And I'm not saying it's a good thing that they're resisting Bitcoin, but it just gives you more proof why Bitcoin is like literally the best store of value out there.
Yeah, they have a dilemma. I mean, like they try to ban Bitcoin, but at the same time they want to collect taxes from it. Yeah, it's something that people like. Oh, this government have no consistency at all, and people try to find a way. Yeah, this is the power of Bitcoin. I mean, the government learn as time goes by, they will. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, yeah, if Bitcoin reach mass adoption and hyper Bitcoinization, do you think that government will obsolete?
Absolutely not. I don't think the government would be
Yeah, I
obsolete, because
know.
there are
They
other
want to give
areas.
up the
There are other
power, right?
areas.
By doing this.
Yeah, but there are other areas where the government also has to play its part, right? So what I believe is that if the government of any country sits down and actually studies and takes time to understand Bitcoin and how it works, the potential it has to the financial system, the potential it will have to the economy as a whole, the potential it will have to to jobs, to like to education, to all these different factors, the more they will realize that if they embraced Bitcoin or made Bitcoin legal tender, the country will grow a lot faster than it is growing with fiat. So I'll give you a good example. Recently, there was a news that got released that El Salvador's GDP grew by over 10%. And El Salvador just legalized Bitcoin or made Bitcoin legal tender in September, right? So it's like 6 months or so. I mean, I don't know, like I can't do the math right now, but like it's not even up to a year. It's not even up to a year, and they're already experiencing 10% or above 10% increase in their GDP, right? I had a guest on the Knobcast where he spoke about his experience in El Salvador, and he said that there are a lot of jobs now being created thanks to Bitcoin being accepted as legal tender, because Bitcoin companies are moving to El Salvador to set up and their businesses there, meaning that if you're going to move a company in another country, what does that mean? We're gonna have to rent your office spaces. We're going to hire people, the locals, right? We're going to train people. Then eventually that gives like a general cycle of improvement, right? So
Yes.
I feel that countries need to actually just sit down and look, compare the data. How are we doing with our currency that's continuously devaluing? Like, for example, in Nigeria, the value of the naira continues to go down, right? Like, and like, it's like almost every 2 to 3 months, these fintech applications that deal with dollar, like they keep raising their rates, showing that the value of the naira is going down. Same thing with other countries. Compare the data, look at El Salvador, a small country, compare it with your country, see the advantages and disadvantages, right? Now, people are literally going to El Salvador on like, I like to call it Bitcoin, right? We want to go to, like, I personally would love to go to El Salvador and see how it's like to actually buy coffee with Bitcoin. What is the experience like? So imagine a country, right? Nigeria, Indonesia, anywhere, accepting Bitcoin as legal tender. It's going to literally open doors to more people coming in. How are the Africans doing it with Bitcoin? What are they doing? What's the experience like? And then other companies will be like, okay, since Africa or since Nigeria, if Nigeria opened, like, for, let's assume that Nigeria accepts Bitcoin as legal tender, right? They'll be like, how are Nigerians doing it? Let us set up a company there, since, you know, that will be like a brand new market for us. Then you will now see the difference. So countries now, I feel the smart countries, they're starting to compare data and see, they're now seeing that, hey, we're actually missing out. There will be stubborn countries that will say, let us create our own coin. Since everyone is after a digital coin, let's create our own coin. But like, any central bank digital currency will always be pegged according to the devaluing fiat, right? So it's not, when people are not after a digital coin, we're after the results and the benefits that come out from a solely decentralized coin, right? It's just, I mean, when you think of it, like, the benefits are outweigh the disadvantages of having Bitcoin as legal tender, because it affects you, it brings in positivity to the economy, to the sector, different sectors, to, like, everybody is starting to get more empowered. I mean, who wouldn't like that? But like, governments need to, like, I don't want to use the word ego, but they need to, like,
Okay.
set their ego, they have to set their ego aside and literally just study this thing and ask themselves, like, why are we resisting this? This is going to help us in the long run. You know, it doesn't mean that the government control will be like completely removed, because they're like other things. Like, for example, the president of El Salvador is not worried that he's no longer going to be president because Bitcoin is legal tender. In fact, he is spearheading projects and initiatives, right? Making him extremely popular, making the country even better. So like, I mean, they're just, no matter the angle you look at it, like, there are just advantages left and right. I mean, and that's my perspective.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I said before, you know, people. I mean, the government cannot ban Bitcoin, and also they don't want to lose power. You know, once they do, I mean, the system will obsolete. But as you said before, the system is not obsolete. But at the same time, the government have difficulties to control the money supply or control the economy. Yeah, this Keynesian economists and Austrian economists will try to debate whether it's good or not, because we in truly capitalistic economies, that's uh, the true economic growth, you know, from consumptive people to productive people. That's the wealth truly grows. But right now, it's not really capitalist, right? I mean, right now it's crony capitalist. When you have the what is called the incentive and the high credit score or credit worthiness from the bank or something like that, you have access to cheap money, and cheap money you can prop up the price of the asset. So yeah, that's why I agree with you. We particularly back in the pandemic before, when the start of the pandemic, the COVID-19, and the Ireland's got bailed out by the government. Yeah, if it's ever a free market, let the bankrupt, right? I mean, there is some people who like want to take over the companies, right? But yeah, government make the bailout, and the bailout has come from people's money in the future. So that's why it's not really capitalistic in many ways right now. But I don't know where this go. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, we just have to wait and see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I will like to ask some question again, and because since you like mentioned yeah, I interviewed as well the what is it called Alex, from Zimbabwe, or yeah, experience hyperinflation, and also you say that your currency is also hyperinflating. I mean, is it all over the place in Africa? I mean, because of the corruption, or I don't know. I'm not judging. I'm not guessing.
No, it's okay.
Is that a part of the situation in there? Or, I mean, like the corruption, or I don't know. I just curious.
Um, so I also interviewed Alex on
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Yeah.
Knobcast, and if you're to compare Zimbabwe and what's happening there to here where I live, like Zimbabwe is like way worse. And when I think about it, it blows my mind. Like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe that there's a country like that. But
Exactly.
like, I can only speak for the country that I'm living in right now. I can't speak for other African countries. But the value of the Naira has dropped considerably. I remember when I moved to Lagos, Nigeria, sometime in like 2006, 2007 or so, 2008, I can't really remember. But like the value of Naira, that's the Nigerian local currency, to dollar, was about 850 Naira to $1. And now it's hovering around, I mean, 565, 570 to $1. That's like 5 times, if not more, than what it was several years ago. And it's scary. I don't know if people are thinking of this, but it's scary when you think about it, right? Like the value of the Naira continues to drop against the dollar. And inflation has risen a lot. Like we are in double-digit inflation right now. And I personally feel that even the inflation rates that's publicly announced is not the true inflation rate, right?
Exactly.
Because when I go out to buy stuff for the house, the prices of things have increased a lot. I'm like, it's becoming really crazy, and people's salaries aren't increasing in commercial, like they're not increasing in proportion to the value of prices of things. So it's making it increasingly hard for a lot of people here. I feel if you're going to ask me the cause, I would say that it is poor financial policy, because what I see is that they set up financial policies that don't complement each other. They like fight against each other. So they don't, one policy is affecting another policy. So instead of moving forward, they're like moving opposite directions. So that just literally messes up the economy on several fronts. Like recently, the Naira debit card limit for international transactions went from $100 per day to $20 per day, meaning that if I want to buy something online from like Amazon, for example, right, and I would use my local debit card, I can only spend $20 at a time, every day. So $20 a day. And when I think of it, it's affecting a lot of people, because we have a lot of people that buy things from abroad to sell to in the local economy. And now with that debit card limit, they won't be able to buy as much as they would have loved to buy, or they usually buy, to sell in the local economy, meaning that their products becomes scarce. And when something is scarce, the value of those products increase. And like, when you look at the complete cycle, when one product increases, the other people have to also increase their price, because they need that product as well, for other things. So it's just a cycle of prices of things increasing, and value of naira is decreasing, and all that. And it's a problem. And I personally am not happy with the way the government is not intervening as fast as they're meant to. And now, as we're getting closer to election period, right, focus is slowly shifting from the people or economy or whatever, to how are we going to get our people into the government. And it's sad and very scary. I know that a lot of people have noticed this. That's why we're seeing a lot of people leave Nigeria to other countries. There has been mass, like there has been a large number of people leaving Nigeria to move to America, Canada, to the UK. So we're losing our best minds, right? We're losing professionals that could help better the country, because they're seeing that Nigeria is not improving. Let us just get out of here, right? And then those who are left in the country have to deal with what's going on currently. And it's just sad. So there is a lot. So back to your question, the reason for this, in my opinion, are poor policies, lack of will to improve the country. I mean, it's one thing to say, I want to improve this country, and it's another thing to actually put in the right steps in motion.
Politician, I know.
Yeah. So, having the right people in place, and it's just really sad, but it is what it is. So
it's okay. I know you don't want to tell the truth because maybe get banned or something. Yeah.
Well, this is the truth. Like, this is the truth. This is exactly what's happening here.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's definitely very sad that it's happening this way, because the Nigeria I came to see, my first impression of Nigeria that I came to see was 100 times better than the Nigeria I'm currently living in. Yes. And I feel sad, right? I may be half Filipino, right? But Nigeria is still my country.
Yes.
I feel sad seeing it deteriorate, right? Because I see a lot of potential in the country, and then you have a lot of potential. You have a lot of people who are driven, who have great ideas, who are inspired. They have great business ideas. They have great initiatives, but the policies are not allowing them to operate 100%, right? For example, we spoke about fintech companies, right? These fintech companies are out there to help people improve their finances, right? They have come up with these great initiatives, but then the central bank comes up with policies that is preventing them to fully operate in such a way as to help people with their finances. So like I said, there's this crazy clash. But yeah, we could only hope for the best. But in the meantime, for people who are in Nigeria watching this, in the meantime, the question that one needs to ask themselves is, what do we do now, right? We can't just sit back and wait and hope that everything turns out well. There are some things that we need to do. And if we're looking at it from the financial point, the next thing you need to do, especially when you're faced with a consistently devaluing currency, is to invest in something that will help hedge against inflation, which is Bitcoin, right? So when you hedge your when you hedge against inflation using Bitcoin, at least from that from that perspective, from that angle, you're protecting yourself financially, right? Because look, Bitcoin today, how much is Bitcoin now? It's at $42,000.
40-ish.
So Bitcoin today is at $42,000, right? In the next 3 months, who knows? It could get to 60, gets to 70, right? It could get higher than that. The value of your local currency is going down, the value of the Bitcoin that you invested is going up, meaning that because you hedged against inflation, you can literally sustain yourself a lot better compared to someone who is I'm just going to focus on fiat, right? You're definitely going to do a lot better than that person. Same thing with what I also advise other people is that we have a lot of talented Nigerians in Nigeria, very talented Nigerians in Nigeria. Offer your services, like literally trust yourself, right? Offer your services, your intellect, your expertise to people in other countries who could pay you in dollars, right? Because the dollar is performing a lot better than your local currency. So find a way to get dollars, trust yourself, right? And I think that is where we as a people need to start, believing in our potential as Nigerians, right? I have met a lot of intelligent Nigerians who have great ideas. Trust yourself. Yes, the government is yes, the policies are weird, but nothing stops you from offering these services to people who will appreciate it outside the shores of your country. And then if you're like, how am I going to get paid, blah, 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 Bitcoin is the solution, because Bitcoin literally solves all cross-border payment issues.
Yes.
Send them your Lightning address or Lightning invoice. They pay you and you receive your money instantly. By the time you convert some of it into fiat, you're literally making so much more than your counterparts in local jobs here in the country, right? So like with that money, that extra money that you make, you can come up with a business idea, hire people to help you, right? So that is more or less something that I'm currently doing. Although in a small way, I run a content management agency and I service most of my target audience are Americans. So what my agency is now doing is creating jobs for the local economy, right? So I'm literally being a living example of this fact, right? As the value of when the value of the naira keeps going down, right, making the dollar more valuable, while people are like, oh my God, the value of the naira is down. I'm like, oh yeah, let's go. I'm trying to let people so what I've been doing is trying to recondition people's mind that now see yourself as an expert. You can't continue living your life debasing yourself. And so when you do this, when you offer your services out there, when you want to expand, you have to hire. When you hire people, you're empowering the local economy. Those guys have jobs now through you. Then the extra money you're getting, you can invest in assets like Bitcoin and then get more money through there as the value of Bitcoin increases. You're protecting yourself by hedging against inflation, whether it's through cryptocurrencies. You're protecting yourself this way by receiving in dollar, which is a currency a lot stronger than your local currency. You're impacting people by offering jobs to the local economy. It's a cycle. You're gradually uplifting people in your space. Yes, the government, you can't always look up to the government for a solution. You need to be proactive, right? We need to sit down and find a solution. We can't sit down and be like, oh my gosh, I'm here and I'm stuck.
Exactly.
Like, you can't do that. Because I'll say it again, the average Nigerian is extremely talented and very intelligent. And I know that if they just trust themselves and literally say, hey, I'm smart, I can offer these services, I'm hardworking, then how can I offer my service to the foreign market? And they would really appreciate you. There are so many Nigerians out there in different countries who are literally showing themselves as extremely hardworking people. I had a conversation with someone who is based in the US, and they're like, man, most of the doctors are Nigerian. they're very hardworking, they're doing this, this is their contribution. Now trust yourself. So yeah, I know I've went on a whole tangent right there, but like I love looking at, yes, the economy is not the best, but I like looking at it from a positive, like how can we turn this around for good to benefit us? And that's where us as youths are like, that's where we have to step up, because we are the ones closest to technology. Our moms, our dads are still, trying to figure out how to use a phone and send emails. But like you, that's like way more advanced in the area of technology. You have a phone, you have access to social media. Like use these as tools, as stepping stones to improve yourself and also improve those around you. So yeah.
Yes, exactly. I mean, yeah, that's why like Jack Dorsey and Jay-Z invest a lot in Africa, especially in Nigeria, because there's a lot of talented people in there, right? And I don't know, maybe do you think that they invest in Africa because the other potential that they might see in Africa, other than the potential of the people itself? I mean, other than the maybe, for example, mass adoption is the better return on investment or something, ROI, the best on ROI or something. Do you think that people like Jack Dorsey invest in Africa? What's the reason for that? What do you?
So I mean, I could only give like
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah,
educated
it's
guess,
fair to say,
but
yeah.
I think one, it could be talent, because we have great talent here. And then when you compare the price of, or the value of the talent with the talent available out there, you'll see that the price differential is like very high. Like Nigerians would not, how do I put it? If I were to hire a foreigner to do a particular job and hire a Nigerian to do the same job, they'll definitely charge a lot more than an average Nigerian, right? So there's a price differential, there's the talent, and then also the opportunities that they see in Africa. Because one thing that I feel is not publicized enough is that when you come to
Hello?
sure.
Okay.
So so to me, I think it is one, the talent, two, the cost advantage, and then three, also the opportunities that they see in Africa. You don't see the opportunities in Africa until you come to Africa and look and witness it yourself, right? Because a lot of business owners or founders, when they come to Africa, they start to see ways Africans think, the way they innovate, the way they try and solve problems, because we don't have the sophisticated infrastructure that the West has, right? And because we don't have that infrastructure, there are ways we were able to come up to, go around certain issues, right? So for example, did you know that in the West, if your monitor screen is broken or it's not working anymore, they would throw it away, right? You take that broken monitor screen and they'll fix it for you, like literally brand new, and you wouldn't know that it was fixed. Like you would think that it came straight from a shop, because they were able to study how it works to the T, such that they're able to, find a way around it and make it work, right? So in Africa, we're solution makers. Like we know how to find solutions around things. We know how to improvise. For example, if there's a part that they can't find, like there's a way they'll fashion the part locally, right? So I'm sure these people, they see that, they've witnessed it, and they're like, there's great potential here. So why not invest? Why not support these guys? Because they see that they could do so much more than what they're doing right now. So those are the three factors that I feel they see or they've identified. And that's why they look this way.
Yeah, exactly. Because yeah, in Nigeria as well, the local Bitcoin transaction hits all-time highs, right? I mean, there is a quite demands in there. I mean, globally, Nigeria have a lot of demands in terms of local Bitcoin transaction. Maybe it's because of that, right? I mean, because of yeah, the people understood and the talent as well, and Jack Dorsey see the potential, and yeah, that's why people in Nigeria have tendency to use uh, the local Bitcoins or other service that something to do with Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, so they're like Nigerian, like they recorded the highest number of Bitcoin transactions. They're like the second in the world. So
Yes.
The last time, I mean, of course, it must be higher now. It was at $566 million dollars in transactions. So like that's amazing for just one country. So yeah, huge potential. I mean, the figures alone is enough for someone to think and be like, hey, there must be something in this country so
Right.
that I should look into. Yeah.
Yeah, Jack Dorsey have uh, maybe the eagle eye, quote unquote, to see that potential in Africa, right? I mean, uh, but at the same time, there is one coin Ponzi scheme that's there's a lot of what is called victim in involving Nigerians, right? The Ponzi. I mean, I don't know. I'm just I just saw the news back then, but what do you think? So, I mean, people are still suffering from the Ponzi's in there, or people a little bit educated or not?
So like Ponzi schemes is not something that is restricted to one country, right? It happens
Yeah,
all
I
over the
know.
world, right? For example, we had the recent one that happened with Wonderland Time
Exactly.
that looks like a Ponzi scheme. So, but in Nigeria, I mean, it's because I feel people are very eager to look, like I said, always look for solutions, right? So if a project comes up and they're like, they promise heaven on earth, sometimes you'll find people who will be like, oh man, I love this so much. I really want to get into it. But I feel the reason why a lot of people fall victim of Ponzi schemes is one, not many people are taught or not many people are aware of how to identify a Ponzi scheme. Because even us Bitcoiners, when we tell people, buy Bitcoin, but do your own research, right? We always add that caveat, like do your own research. It's not because we don't trust Bitcoin. Like there are people who are literally gave their whole life to Bitcoin, but like we also want you to do your own research so that you build your conviction based on what you research and what you found versus you trusting a project or a project or a coin because someone else said it was good, right? So one thing about the decentralized space is that you are made solely responsible for your financial decisions. In the centralized space, there's like insurance, they insure the money that you have in the accounts, they have all these KYC and all those things to protect you, thus giving you very little room to do the research on your own. But with decentralized space, right, when you're actually in control of your money, nobody's going to protect it for you unless you take those steps. So I think the reason why a lot of people fall victims of Ponzi schemes is because they're so used to the fact that the centralized system where someone else does it for them, someone else does the research, the protection for them. So when it comes to this, it's always important for people to learn how to do the research for themselves and actually get all the information that they need. For example, I came across Bitcoin in 2016, 2015, 2016, right? But I did not get into it fully. Like I didn't own a single Satoshi until like 2020, 2021. Because during that period, I was trying to get used to the idea of Bitcoin, trying to understand what Bitcoin is and feel comfortable to the point where, okay, I think I can put my money into this thing now. And that was like how it is for a lot of people who I've orange pilled, right? So I tell them to go and do their research or whatever, but at the same time, I try to break that barrier by sending them Satoshis to not get the confidence to buy or to invest in Bitcoin by themselves. So yeah, when it comes to Ponzi schemes, do your research. If it sounds too good to be true, most times it is too good to be true. Always check the background of these founders, right? Check the background of these founders, where are they from, where did they come in, what's their track record like, and all those kind of things. Anything that has like unlimited supplies, usually a red flag. So just basically watching all those things. Don't be too quick to hop into a project. Take your time, because if you want something to benefit you in the long run, it's always important for you to just take your time to be very sure of what you are putting your money into. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the way to go. The nothing, even instant noodle, you can still use process in it, right? I mean, there is no such thing as instant. That's why people try to
Yeah.
educate, need to be educated about this thing, and do your own research is the way to go, I think. Yeah, it's been an hour already. Maybe before I wrap this up,
Absolutely.
I would like to ask you a question about, it's just for fun, no financial advice. Bitcoin price prediction. What do you think? I mean,
Okay.
like Bitcoin is still 100K or bull market is over? Yeah, it's just for fun, no financial advice.
Yeah. So the way I'm looking at Bitcoin, I'm definitely think that is where it has taken a lot of time, but I feel like we're going to see a bull run very soon. So I'm thinking that the way I'm looking, it could get up to $50,000-$60,000 before the middle of the year, so before summer. So that's my prediction.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like for the next year, for the next 2 years, I mean, 100K, 200K.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, so I mean, I think by next year we're gonna start talking about Bitcoin in hundreds, right? So definitely we'll start seeing 100Ks and all that by next year. Like I'm
it's
excited, so
mathematically
I'm sure.
possible because the next halving is approaching, and then the total of supply is decreasing, and that's
Yeah,
theoretically go up. I mean, mathematically go up. So I don't know. Maybe it's there is a long way to go. There is up and down road, but let's see how it goes. That's
yeah, but definitely Bitcoin is going to the moon. That's
exactly.
certain.
NGU technology, NGU numbers go up technology. Yeah, it's designed that way, and people will understand as time goes by. Maybe
Yeah,
that's it for today. Thank you guys. I will share the link on the description. Support always for the Nigerian Bitcoiners. So leave a like and subscribe to our channel, guys.